Oh, I've had such a morning, let me tell you about it. So I was in bed and I hear this shouting noise of GMAC! GMAC! And so I got up and went to the kitchen, and there was all this water gushing from the taps. But it was in darkness because the power had gone as well. All the electricity had gone. So yeah, and then Les told me, hold this, and so there's like this tea towel holding against the tap. You imagine like a tap with the nozzle here and then the two bits at the side. Yeah. Well, the whole tap had come off, and all this water was gushing around, but it was like concealed with this tea towel to stop the water from going everywhere. And then it was my job to hold it in position so it didn't go everywhere. I mean, and I found out that if you put your finger in it, the water would come down. But if you took your finger out of it, it would just be normal, and it wouldn't run at all. But it would still gush around the place and make everything soaking wet. And then so Les rang up the security to find the key to open up the thing to stop the water. But he didn't know where it was, and so then I think somebody else was called up, and they found the key. But for some reason, Les brought the guy into the kitchen. And when Les first called me, I thought he said to me, "Give me your trousers." So I took my trousers off and gave him my trousers because I thought he wanted to like plug it up. But I think he meant something else. But anyway, so that's why I didn't have any trousers on. And so like this random guy just comes in and he sees me in my red boxer shorts, and I'm like, and so I just sort of faced the wall and was like, all right, I mean, I'm perfectly okay with people seeing me in my boxer shorts, but it is a bit embarrassing. So I just stare at the wall and do my job of holding this tea towel. And then they went away somewhere, I think, to actually turn it off, because they were all faffing about and like, I just like, turn the fucking tap off. And I was holding it, I was just waiting, I'm waiting for ages, and I was like, just turn it off, because my hand was getting really cold, because it was really cold water, even though it was the hot tap. That's how this flat works, everything's wrong. And then they turned the water off, and that's that. And my hand is really cold, so I went back to bed and turned on the electric blanket. But that wasn't the end of the kerfuffles, because now we have no water. And so then, of course, I'm working today, so I have to have a shower. And so Les went out, and the sweetheart he is, went and bought 12 bottles of 2-litre water. And so then, of course, I have a bath. I just heat up, I get all the pots and pans out. Do you remember that, when there was no water? Getting the pots and pans out, the saucepans and all that, and heating up the kettles and all that. Well, I did all that. But of course there was another problem. Basically we have showers, we don't hardly ever have baths. So over time it sort of deteriorates, and so the plug was pretty useless. The plug had a sort of gap in it, a gap big enough to start the water seeping out of the bath. So I was putting water in this bath and it was just seeping out. And I discovered this like after the second kettle. And so the water was seeping out, so I had to find a way of stopping the water from seeping out. So my first thought was to put a flannel there, but then of course the flannel doesn't really do much. So then I put a towel there, and then I got a dumbbell, like a dumbbell, and put that on top to stop it seeping out. And that kind of worked, but still I think there was some seepage. And so yeah, I had this pretty pathetic bath, which was all these trousers. I had this pretty pathetic bath, which wasn't very deep at all. It actually used four 2-litre bottles of water, and then it was actually so hot. I left one bottle of cold water to put in, but it wasn't enough. It was still really hot after that first bottle, so I put some ice cubes in it. I literally drained my entire ice cube trays and put that in it, but that still wasn't enough. It was still really hot. I put my foot in there and it was like, oh my god, ow, this hurts. So then I put another bottle in, which I'm really hesitant to do because that's 6 bottles now, and that kind of made it work. And Annabelle's just about to go to the toilet, so yeah, we'll all enjoy the smells of that. And I was a bit upset because there wasn't any bubble bath. When you're forced to have to use the bath and do all this with the saucepans and stuff, you kind of want a little treat, so to have some bubble bath or something. And there wasn't any bubble bath or any bath salts or anything like that, which is really strange because you know, people keep giving us these sort of things. I mean, basically, I got my arms and everything that I usually wash clean, and I used the soap and everything, but it wasn't fantastic. And I really couldn't do my hair, so my hair's a mess today. I couldn't do my hair because the water was soapy, and we didn't have any spare water to do my hair. Well, I could have used one, but I didn't really. I thought 6 was pretty much the limit there. So of course we can't go on with no water forever. So tomorrow the plumber is coming. And this is an interesting example as to the sort of struggles of my daily life. Because knowing that plumber's coming will make me very stressed, and I will have lots of anxiety about that, because, you know, this is a guy who I'm going to have to communicate with and talk to. And that just is something so stressful for me, because I just won't like that. It's sort of a violation of my comforts. And so I don't like that, having to be the person who has to deal with this plumber. And on a final note, all you straight men out there, if you want an erotic drawing, there's this one behind me, one I finished yesterday. I practically spent all day doing it. And it's a woman with ginormous boobs.